is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It is a gorgeous day in the Mississippi and a perfect day for Tigers baseball. We welcome you to Target Field in Minneapolis today. It's the final game in this three-game series featuring the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins, with the Tigers going for the sweep. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for the Tigers and Twins today. And it wasn't long ago, Rod, that people were freaking out about this Tigers offense. They have now won 5 of 6 ball games, going for the sweep today.
You know, for me, it all coincides with the big fella heating up last Monday. He had a couple of home runs against Oakland on that particular day. The entire lineup has kind of followed suit. And then when you add in what the starting pitchers have been able to do, because the Tigers have taken some leads early in games, they've ran off 4 games in a row.
All right, let's talk about a couple of the key offensive pieces. We'll start with Nick Castellanos. When he is going well, that really lengthens the Tigers lineup.
You know, his maturation process has really gone to a whole nother level. And not only is he pulling the ball these days, but Nick has found some power the opposite way as well. He also homered in this ballpark to straightaway center field just a couple of days ago. So Nick not only getting hits, but he's getting a lot of extra base hits. He's doing a lot of damage. And because of that, he is leading the American League with a .363 batting average. He hit about .220, .230 in the month of April in 2015. So he is clearly getting better.
All right, now a guy that's also gotten better from April of last year, only because he's healthy, is Victor Martinez. A ton of extra base hits.
He's been getting busy. Miguel Cabrera has been on the base pass, and Victor has been cleaning up, driving in tons of runs already this year. Also, a lot of extra base hits. He's got his legs underneath him. He's going foul line to foul line. Victor, one of the few, not many, that has a career batting average pretty much from both sides of the dish, left-handed and right-handed, and that last swing that we slowed down gives you an idea of just how well he is able to stay back on that back leg, and that's the key to Victor's swing. If he can rest comfortably on that backside and turn with those hips, that's where he generates his power.
Did you bring your broom today?
I got it.
All right, Tigers go for the sweep here this afternoon, the final game of the series. After a short break, back to the Coliseum Studios and Matt Shepard coming up here this afternoon. Hopefully another quick start. The Tigers are 10-0 this year when they score first. That's the plan again today. Tigers and Twins next. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. The all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by Kroger. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. The all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by Kroger. Back here at Target Field as we get you ready for baseball here this afternoon. Tigers in search of the sweep against the Minnesota Twins, and a gorgeous day for baseball here in Minneapolis. Here's the Tigers starting lineup today, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For Brad Ausmus, he has Kinsler, Martinez, and Cabrera in the top three spots. Big series for Victor Martinez. He's DHing again today. Justin Upton is in left. Nick Castellanos at third base. In a bottom three today is Saltalamacchia Ghosts and Jose Iglesias, and they are facing the right-handed offerings of Ricky Nolasco.
Nolasco probably has been their best starter so far this year. 1-0 with a 3.25 ERA. You see the whip is under 1. They say his fastball command is much better, even though he's only throwing about 90 miles an hour, but he has a wipeout slider, a real good curveball, and he's been moving that fastball all around the strike zone. Let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting defense. It is presented by and brought to you by Tim Hortons. Rosario Santana Arcia in the outfield. Escobar Dozier up the middle. Sano is getting a start over at third base. He had started the first 2 games of the series in right field. Joe Mauer, boy, what a year he's having. He's at first base. And Suzuki is a catcher again today.
Typically, good things happen when you score first in a ball game. That certainly has been the case this year around for the Tigers. How about these numbers? 10-0 when they score first.
And it really has allowed the starters the last week to really relax and settle in and go out and pitch their game in the very first inning, because they have taken the lead in the last 2 games with 3-run leads.
Well, the Tigers are 13-10 coming into play here this afternoon, and looking to go 4 over the 500 mark as Ian Kinsler settles into the batter's box. Kinsler, J.D. Martinez, and Miguel Cabrera facing Ricky Nolasco.
Several Tigers have really good numbers against Nolasco, and Kinsler would be one of those.
Nolasco last year made just 9 appearances, a good portion of the DL on the season on the DL. He is healthy and looking good this year, and he fires a strike to Ian Kinsler.
Had 2 starts against the Tigers last year. 1 not so good, and the other start was outstanding. Went 8 innings against Detroit.
Kinsler batting .330 coming into play today, and he lines one to right field, sinking but caught on the move by Arcia. 1 gone. Well, I mentioned it's a gorgeous afternoon here today. The field conditions are presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. The temperature is 58 at game time, and more importantly, it is sunny, sunny, and sunny today, and that's the good news.
Yeah, beautiful spring day.
Here is J.D. Martinez. J.D. in the series 1 for 8. He looks at a strike, 0-1.
Nolasco likes to work at the top of the strike zone with that fastball. But we've seen that around the league this year. A lot of guys that throw about 90 miles an hour taking advantage of the high strike.
Drilled to center field. Santana is on the move, still going back to the warning track to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down. A couple of hard hit balls for the first 2 outs. We'll bring on Miguel Cabrera.
In Nolasco's starts this year, the Minnesota Twins are 3-1. But when he doesn't pitch, the rest of the staff, their record is 4-16.
Whoa. Well, he is their hope today to at least gain 1 win in this series and avoid the sweep. Cabrera looks at ball 1. Miguel in the series is 2 out of 9. He sits safely in his last 6 consecutive games. Four homers this year. He's knocked in 12. And again, those numbers against the Minnesota Twins lifetime over 336 home runs. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cabrera.
Here's an example of the elevated fastball. Each hitter that has gone to the ditch has gotten one, whether it be Kinsler, JD, now Miguel with the fastball up at the top of the strike zone that Miguel swung and fouled off.
Here's the 1-2. Little chopper back to the mound. Nolasco will handle this one. The Tigers go quickly in the first inning. No score as we go to the bottom of the first. Today presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Pelfrey looking for his first win in quite a while, spanning 12 starts. You got to go all the way back to last August. The last time he has won a ball game. 0-4 with a 4.64 ERA, but he took some steps forward with his control in his last outing.
Well, Pelfrey will face his former teammates here. Minnesota Twin the last 3 seasons. He's got Danny Santana starting things off for Minnesota. And the first one is in there for a strike, 0-1.
And Paul Molitor, the manager of the Minnesota Twins, had some very nice comments on Pelfrey. Talked about how great a teammate he was and how much his teammates really loved having him in a Twins uniform for a couple of years. He also said he didn't pitch all that well all the time when he was here, but he said he was a tremendous competitor and good teammate.
Yeah, and I think we've seen all of those qualities here in the first month of the year with the Tigers as well.
And they also have a pretty good scouting report on him. Good fastballs. He's going to throw a lot of those, an occasional breaking ball. And he's also going to throw that split-fingered fastball when he gets ahead of you.
That is tapped foul down the first base line.
And there's that first splitter of the day. And it looked like he got to a real nice balanced position to get on top of that ball. Nice pitch.
Well, that Brad has wanted Pelfrey to throw a few more sliders and mix up his pitches to opposing hitters. He has thrown a lot of fastballs this year. He's got that good sinker, which has gotten him some ground balls. And as you mentioned, he has really worked on the command. No walks in the last start after walking 11 in the previous 2 starts. So a marked improvement. The 1-2 is fouled off by Santana. Dozier and then Mauer to follow here in the first inning. The Twins bat after the Tigers go 1-2-3.
Brian Dozier in the on-deck circle really struggling.
They really need to get him going if they want to get this offense sparked. Santana slices one foul back out of play.
Yeah, Paul Molitor running out of patience with his all-star second baseman of the season to go. As a matter of fact, considering dropping him down in the batting order.
Twins as a team come into play today at 7-16. They're hopeful of having a better month of May. And Santana caught him looking. Take strike 3, 1 gone.
Outstanding swing back fastball there thrown by Pelfrey.
Here's the rest of the lineup for the Twins, brought to you by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Santana. He is followed today by Dozier. He's batting in the 2 slot. Joe Mauer is back at first base this afternoon, and Miguel Sano, he's playing third today. Young Home Park is the DH. Arcia in his last 7 pretty good. Escobar, Suzuki, and Rosario rounding it out, and a strike on Brian Dozier. There are the numbers that need improving. 191 batting average for Dozier. He's hit 3 home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of people that follow the Minnesota Twins, they feel like Dozier hitting those 28 home runs last year kind of really worked against him. It helped him make the All-Star team, but he hit only 190 in the second half of the season, trying to hit 30-35 homers.
Well, he finished with 28, but only 9 of those came in the second half last year. Had a pinch hit home run in the All-Star game.
Hit that big home run against the Tigers as well right before the All-Star game too, which pretty much got him that final vote.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention that. That was a dagger last year.
Oh, that was bad.
3 balls and 1 strike.
That was the turning point of the season.
You know, it's hard to pinpoint certain games, but that certainly had the feel of a game that just kind of sunk the season. Now the 3-1. That'll get back out of play. 3-2.
Well, we brought it up. Here it is. Tigers were ahead by what? How many runs in that inning started? Seven runs or something?
Yeah,
like that?
something like that earlier in the game. Yeah, Joaquin Soria would end up giving up a couple of really big home runs last year. This one certainly comes to mind. 3-2 is on the ground to the shortstop. Backhanded play there by Iglesias. Nicely done.
His feet are so quick and his hands are really steady, but take a look at how low he gets down to get this ball and looks it into the glove. He gets all the way down there, looks it into the glove, didn't get a clean handle at first, but then he was able to get one and fired a strike across the dime to get a guy that can run pretty well in Dozier.
That is a much tougher play than Iglesias made it look. I mean, his skills, sometimes you watch him and you don't realize the kind of plays he makes because he makes everything look pretty normal.
There are some outstanding shortstops in the American League. Iglesias obviously is one. The kid we're going to see in a couple of days, Lindor, Correa, Escobar, Andrews, Simmons. There's a lot of good shortstops in the AL.
Pretty long list. Right back up the middle, Joe Mauer being Joe Mauer and a solid single to center.
Boy, is he having a good year. Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defensive alignment presented by Beaumont Health. In the outfield, you've got Upton, you've got Ghosh, you've got Martinez. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, the big fella, Miguel Cabrera. He's anchored over at first. And Saltalamacchia is the catcher today.
So Mauer now has been on base in 25 consecutive games, and you look at where that stands on the Twins all-time list. There's a ball low to Sano.
As you can imagine, the 25 consecutive games he's reached is #1 currently in Major League Baseball.
Mauer had a couple of base hits in last night's game. Has singled here in the first inning today. Sano playing third base today, batting cleanup. Sliding outside, 2 balls and no strikes. 235 for Sano. He has power, 3 homers. He sits safely in 5 of his last 6. Try to hold up, couldn't do it.
That's a nasty pitch. It's 92 miles an hour, but it's not the 92, the velocity that makes the pitch. Look at the late life on the two-seamer. I mean, that ball just runs in on the hands of Sano.
Here's the 2-1. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike to Sano. Guy on deck has some power. We saw it on display yesterday. More of a line drive home run, but still he hit one out, his 6th of the year. Young Ho Park. Pelfrey ready with the 3-1. And he lost him, ball 4, not by much, and that'll put 2 men on with 2 outs. So after not walking anybody in his last start, there's a walk to Sano. We'll get a meeting on the mound now as Park strolls in. Park the DH today. He is batting .227. His 6 home runs are all solo shots this year. That's why he has only 8 RBIs.
He is 0 for 15 so far this year with runners in scoring position. And that's a great point by you, Mario, the fact that all of his home runs have been solo shots, but really it's an epidemic that's going through their entire team. They have 21 total homers. 19 of those are solo shots.
Whoa. There's a ball low, 1-0.
Minnesota feels like eventually Park will start to hit better with runners in scoring position as he learns the pitchers in the American League. Of course, he played in Korea last season.
53 home runs there last year, 52 the year before that. He was a tremendous power hitter in Korea. Big rip there, and he fouled it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 for 8 in this series. The home run yesterday his only hit so far. They say he hit a ball here into the seats out beyond the center field wall, that little area, that restaurant area they have.
Yes, they say it landed in somebody's beverage.
462 feet.
And one of the furthest home runs hit in this ballpark.
Swing and a miss.
It's a good pitch. The previous pitch was a good 2-seam fastball at 92 that ran into the hands of Park. And then he came from the same arm slot with a breaking ball, and he buried it beautifully down and away. Talk about going east to west in the strike zone. Those last 2 pitches, a perfect example of that.
And that's what the Tigers want to see him do more of. Now he's gone ahead of Park. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And we've seen the first couple of starters in the series, Zimmerman and also Fulmer, really elevate some fastballs and take advantage of the weaknesses that the Minnesota Twins have in swinging at that pitch that's up in the strike zone.
Two on and 2 out. We're in the first inning. And a ball outside to run the count full now at 3-2. Which means Mauer and Sano will be on the move with 2 gone. And a gapper scores a couple. Arcia waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2 bouncing ball right side, and it'll get into right field, a base hit. Mauer comes around to score. Sano goes to third, and a little seeing-eyed single into right field makes it 1-0 Minnesota.
Pelfrey able to get ahead of Park with 2 strikes very early in the count. Then he worked the count to 3-2, did Park, and he fought off a fastball right by Ian Kinsler, who was shading him up the middle. And he is now 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position.
Well, it didn't look all that impressive, but it got the job done. And that'll bring up Oswaldo Arcia. Mauer got it started with a 2-out single. Arcia, the right fielder, stands in. Down the middle it comes, 0-1. Arcia 1 for 4 in the series with a run scored. He's playing out in right field again today. Line to center field. That ball is sinking, and it's going to drop. Knocked down by Ghost. 1 run will score. They're going to hold Park at third base. It's an RBI hit for Oswaldo Arcia.
And Ghost got lucky on this ball. He left his feet, but he was able to keep that ball in front of him. And very dangerous if that ball gets past him. Obviously, another run scores, and Arcia probably ends up on third base.
Arcia gets his 8th RBI of the year. 2-0 Twins. They've done all of this after the first 2 were retired. Here is Escobar. He's had a good series, 4 for 8. Ball 1. So Pelfrey, after getting 2 quick outs, about to throw his 30th pitch of this inning. Outside again, 2 balls and no strikes. You see the breakdown, not all that good either. 17 against 13 for a total of 30. Pelfrey spent 3 years with Minnesota, was 11-27 overall with the Twins. There's a ground ball right to Miggy, knocked down. Kinsler going to have to make a play, and he's out at first base.
Outstanding play by Ian Kinsler.
And Paul Molitor says, wait, we want to look at it. This is the difference between the inning ending and another run.
It's one of the few times it's okay to head first slide into first base on a play just like this, when you know you have a really good opportunity of getting there. But it's a dangerous play as far as hurting your hands.
Well, you're not kidding, though. Kinsler came in on that ball quickly and made it a bang-bang play.
He has a tremendous instincts at that second base position.
Twins still deciding if they want to challenge this call.
If it's taking them that long, they may as well not challenge it. Ball got off the glove of Miggy, then Ian Kinsler. Johnny on the spot. Nice shuffle to McGill. And did he get there? Guess not.
No challenge. And so the Twins will settle for 2 on a close play at first base. Well, the Twins have an early 2-0 lead in this one. The Tigers offense will go back to work. It'll be Victor Martinez, Justin Upton, and then Nick Castellanos. Victor, a very solid month of April, 329, and he'll face Ricky Nolasco here in the second. First one is outside, 1 ball and no strikes on Martinez. Victor, 5 home runs. He's knocked in 18. And he's had a nice series. They played the shift on him defensively. Here's the 1-0.
The way the Tigers have been swinging the bat pretty much all week, with the exception of Tuesday at Comerica Park, and 2 runs, and they could come back from this deficit very easily, especially the way they hit in this ballpark.
Strike again from Nolasco on the inside part of the plate. 1-2. Now with 2 strikes on the batter. Sano will head back to third base, his normal position. Grounded foul. Here's the Chevy Silverado most dependable player, and of course it is Mr. Victor Martinez. Look at what he's done in the month of April.
And 14 extra base hits to go along with the nearly .330 batting average, and OPS is simply off the chain. It's over 1,000.
I didn't realize he had just 1 extra base hit all of last April.
Yeah, he scuffled, man. Then they finally put him on the disabled list. Then he came back, and he was okay for a few days. Then he just wasn't the same.
Well, that's what Brad said. He said once he came off the disabled list, he showed a couple of games where we thought, okay, he's finally healthy now, but it just didn't last. And in retrospect, probably should have started the year on the DL last season. 2-2 is rolled foul.
Nolasco will throw that breaking ball at a lot of different speeds, different angles. That breaking ball was 80 miles an hour. The previous pitch on the same breaking ball was 74 miles an hour. So he changes speeds on everything.
Nolasco went 7 1/3 in his last start, which is the longest start by a Twins pitcher this year.
He also looks like he's in better shape to me this year, man. Looks like he dropped a few pounds. Nolasco from last year.
6'2", 215 is the particulars on Mr. Nolasco. Here's the last start. 9 strikeouts in
no
7
walks.
1/3. Here's the 3-2. Driven in the air towards center field. Santana's on the move. He's going to look up, and that ball is off the top of the wall. It's in play, and Martinez will go to second with a double that very nearly left the ballpark.
Another extra base hit for Victor Martinez, who is just killing the baseball right now. That's a little 2-seam fastball changeup, something that stays up, and Victor was able to take this ball that's outside. This is a pitch that's off the plate outside and hit it that far to right center field. It's a shame you hit a ball that far if you don't get a home run. That's pretty much one of the only unfair parts of this ballpark, that out of town scoreboard, because you got to hit the ball so high to hit it out there. In most ballparks, that's a home run.
10 doubles on the year now for Victor Martinez. We'll see if the Tigers can get him in. Leadoff man is on. Here is Upton. Justin, 4 out of 9 in the series, continuing to show signs that he's back. And there's a base hit to right field. Martinez will go to third. They'll stop him there, and Upton goes the other way.
That is the 5th hit of the series for Justin Upton, and the 6th hit in the last 3 games for him. But this is an unselfish at-bat. Victor's on second base. There's nobody out. Little breaking ball flipped up there by Nolasco. And you can tell that Justin was trying to hit something the opposite way just to get the job done. Look at the concentration. The head directly down on the baseball, and he's able to do his job.
2 on, nobody out. Tying runs are on here as Castellanos stands in. Nick is another guy that's having had a tremendous month of April. Missed inside, 1-0.
And Nick comes in leading in the American League in batting with a .363 batting average. Nearly 20 points ahead of Manny Machado of the Baltimore Orioles.
And when you compare that to last April for Castellanos, the numbers are Much better. 234 last April.
The Tigers know the scouting report on Nolasco. They know that he's going to throw a lot of breaking balls when there's runners in scoring position. The key for them is to not swing at the breaking balls that are out of the strike zone, because that's what he's trying to get you to do, is chase.
1-2 on Nick. 5 for 8 in the series for Castellanos.
And Castellanos has gotten that runner in from third 3 out of 5 times. 60%. The major league average is 52%.
Fly ball in the air to center. Moving over is Santana. Victor tagging. They're going to bring him home. The throw will come into second base. Sac fly and an RBI as Castellanos again gets it done. It'll be his 15th RBI of the year. Well, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Two to 1 ball game. It'll bring up Saltalamacchia. Forgot about that.
It's the month of May now.
That's his first run of support all year.
Doesn't seem right, does it?
Helfrey's going to throw a party down there in the dugout. It does not seem right, man. The entire month of April without a single run of support. That has come to an end. Saltalamacchia looks at a ball outside.
Saltalamacchia, his swing has gotten a little long lately, but that's common for guys that get off to the kind of start that he got off to as far as the power numbers are concerned. You find yourself trying to hit home runs when you get into the batter's box, and of course it just doesn't happen when you try to hit them. Once he shortens up again, he can start to do some of that same damage that he was able to do in the month of April. He got some big hits for the Tigers early.
McCann is scheduled to join the team perhaps on Tuesday in Cleveland. But in his spot, Saltalamacchia, as Rod just described, doing some fabulous work. Meanwhile now, 3-0 the count.
And Brad might just let him swing here 3-0 to see if he can get underneath and want to hit it out.
In there for a strike in the outer edge. 3-1 on Saltalamacchia. Ghost will be next. Tigers make good on the leadoff double by Victor Martinez. Foul tip right at home plate. 3-2.
Wonder what Brad's going to do with Justin here at first base. 1 out, 3-2 count. Is he going to start him to stay out of the double play, or is it too risky because of the strikeouts?
I don't think Upton's going here. We'll see. Nolasco will send him back to the bag. Saltalamacchia is 0 for 4 in the series. Runner goes, and it's foul down the left field line, out of play. 3-2 the count stays. They had Upton on the move.
Justin has not run much this year, but he does have the speed to steal 20 bases in the big leagues. He's done it before. He's in the prime of his career, just 28 years old.
Leadoff double, a single, and a sac fly, putting the Tigers on the board. There he goes again, swing and a miss. Here comes the throw down to second. The tag not in time. A strikeout of Saltalamacchia is the second out.
I like the way that Justin treated this 3-2 count to Salsalomaki. He was not just trying to hope that he made contact. He was attempting to steal that base, and he got a good jump, and that's why he was able to steal that bag successfully. Nice slide to the outside part of that second base bag as well.
Well, the Twins, I think, are taking a look at this. Close play.
And Justin stole 19 bases last year in San Diego.
Now Brian Gorman is pretty much saying, what do you want to do here? Challenge or no challenge, and it's waved off. So here is Anthony Gose.
Whoever the Twinkies have on the other side of that phone, man, they're moving a little slow this morning.
Not enough coffee down there in the clubhouse for the Twins. You don't normally see the home plate umpire kind of lose his patience. Gorman telling Paul Molitor, let's go. What's the decision? Now Gose will try and drive in this run with 2 outs.
We got a couple slow workers on the hill today in Alasko and Pelfrey.
Anthony takes ball 1. Just one more look at it. I'm not sure that's enough to get that call changed. Here's the 1-0. Gose showing signs also in recent games of busting out of it. The average up over 200 now. He's 2 for 6 in the series, but he's been on base 5 times.
He has looked more comfortable. He's seeing more pitches, better plate appearances.
Bouncing ball, first base side. Mauer has it there. That will end the inning. However, the Tigers get one back on the sac fly by Castellanos. Twins 2, Tigers 1 as we go to the bottom of the second, and Menards brings you the big money encounter. Here are the numbers that Mike Pelfrey had with the Minnesota Twins: 11 and 27 for the last 3 years.
With a .494 earned run average, the opponents hit over 300 against Mike. That's exactly what Paul Molitor was saying. Said he had some nice moments here, but overall he probably didn't pitch the way that they thought he would pitch when they signed him to a 3-year free agent contract.
Kurt Suzuki will get it started here for Minnesota against Pelfrey.
Minnesota Twins catchers really struggling offensively this year.
Well, Suzuki hits a slow ground ball to second. That'll be an easy play for Kinsley. One away, yeah. Suzuki low 200s, and John Ryan Murphy has just 2 hits all year. Eddie Rosario stands in. Rosario, Rod, I think is a good example of how sometimes in the major leagues you can't expect that if a guy has a good year when he's young in his career, his first 2 years or so, that he's going to duplicate that and just continue to build on that every year. There is a learning curve.
It's a difficult game, and once you have the kind of success that Rosario had last year, teams start to pay a little bit more attention to you. They found a weakness in his swing, obviously, because he's off to not a really good start at all. But he does have some talent. Good changeup there thrown by Pelfrey. Actually, not a changeup. That's his split-fingered fastball that acts like a changeup at times. He's got some nice tumbling action on that pitch. Bottom fell out of it.
Here's the 1-1.
You know, they say, Mario, it's easier to get to the big leagues than it is that once you get there to stay in the big leagues and have some longevity.
Well, for Rosario, it was a fabulous year last year. 15 triples was the most in all of baseball. That'll bounce in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Led all rookies in total bases last year. Danny Santana waiting on deck. Rosario 3 homers this year, 6 RBIs.
You're going to try that swing back fastball inside.
Popped it up. Shallow center field. Goes. 2 gone. Fans, party suites for all Tigers games are on sale now. All party suites include $300 in food credit and parking. Select suites include visits from Tigers alumni. Visit tigers.com/groups or call 313-471-BALL. Here's Santana. He struck out in the first. We'll slap that one back out of play. 0-1. 313 for Santana. He is 1 for 8 plus a walk in this series. A really good spring training this year for the Twins. Right back up the middle. And that's into center field. This is how the Twins got it started in the first inning with a 2-out single. Now Dozier. Dozier bounced down 6-3 his first time up.
Yeah, Mike with 2 outs is going to keep a close eye on Santana. He's got decent speed over at first base. He has a couple of steals this year, but he's been caught 3 times, so he's 2 for 5 in that department.
Pelfrey now has surrendered 4 hits in the early going here.
And 2 years ago, really nice rookie campaign turned in by the first base runner, Danny Santana. He stole 20 bases that season. Last year, he only stole 8.
He was only caught 4 times with the 20 steals 2 years ago.
He had a good year, good rookie season. Took a step back in his sophomore campaign. Same conversation we were having regarding Rosario.
Yeah, same concept. 30 steals and 41 attempts for his career. Runner goes. Dozier takes the ball low, no throw, stolen base for Santana.
He picked the right pitch. It was a split-fingered fastball thrown to Dozier, and by the time the ball got into Saltalamakia's glove, Santana with a really good jump, he was already halfway to second base. So wisely, Saltalamakia just grabbed the baseball and threw it back to his pitcher.
3rd stolen base of the year for Santana. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike on Dozier. We're talking about the Twins and how they're hopeful of having a better month of May. They can look to the Rangers last year. The Rangers were 7-14 at the end of April, and they went on to win the West. And Paul Molitor feels that if they can have somewhat the same type of May they had last year, they'll be in decent shape. They were 20-7 in the month of May last year.
Yeah, they're going to need it because the Chicago White Sox right now are playing some good baseball. Tigers playing good baseball. The last thing you want, if you're Minnesota, is get buried too far behind good teams.
But I don't think you can think in terms of, let's win 20 games this month. I think, as cliche-ish as it sounds, you've got to win tonight, worry about tomorrow.
That's right. That's in the Bible.
That's pretty good authority right there.
That's in the Bible, buddy. You can't do nothing about tomorrow. Give it your best today.
2-1 is outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. So now Pelfrey working into another jam here in the second. Joe Mauer waiting on deck. I'd rather not deal with him with guys on base.
That much is for certain.
Here's a 3-1. Ripped right to third and caught by Castellanos. Dozier hit a bullet, but he's out. A little bit of a break there for the Tigers. No runs, a hit, a steal, and 1 man left. Two to 1 as we go to the top of the third here at Target Field on a gorgeous afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 50s, but plenty of sunshine today. Jose Iglesias slaps it foul to get things started here in the top of inning number 3. Iglesias, then Kinsler, and J.D. Martinez.
Iglesias did something there that he has very rarely done this year, and that's swinging at the first pitch. He has been as patient as any hitter in the American League in that regard.
He's been in a bit of a slow stretch, 2 for his last 17. Now the 1-1. We'll back him out of there. 2 balls and 1 strike on Iglesias.
Kind of surprised that Aviles didn't make the starting lineup today. He's hitting .571 against Nolasco, 14 for 18. Better than any other Tiger. He just knew he was going to play when he came on this trip, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess the alternative is to take Kinsler out of the game, which they don't want to do. Of course, he can play other positions.
Yeah, or Iglesias, either one. But he just had a day off a couple days ago. That just goes to show you that Brad does not totally rely on the numbers. And you can't. I mean, there's a lot of numbers to digest, and you look at all the numbers, and when it comes right down to it, you make the educated decision as to who you would like to play. Well, he's got that bat toe. He's ready.
As you like to say, the computer put Aviles in the lineup today.
It should have. It should have.
3-2. Soft liner towards second. Dozier backs up. And he is out at first base. And Iglesias says, check it.
Iglesias feels like he's safe, and he knows. I mean, pretty much when you're that runner down that baseline, you know when your foot hits that bag because you can hear that ball hitting that glove as well.
Now it's Brad's turn, and they say, yep, let's check this. So we'll get a challenge here. From the get-go, that was going to be a tough play for Dozier because he backed up and it wasn't hit hard.
I don't know if Dozier could have gotten more on his throw, though, because he kind of lofted that ball over to first base. He was off balance, as you mentioned, but I'm wondering if he could have gotten more on his throw.
What do you think? Man, that's close. But the Tigers saw something which has led them to challenge the play.
Yeah, since the beginning of last year, 34 infield singles for the Tigers shortstop, which is fourth most in the majors. Which is why some believe he can steal you 15, 20, 25 bases with that ability to get out of that batter's box.
Only glove right there, and the foot, well, it's so hard to tell.
That's a nice job there. A nice look at Iglesias hitting the front part of the bag, which is what you're taught to do when you're running down the first baseline. Hit the first part of the bag that you can hit. Look at his foot right there on the front part of the base. And if he's called safe, that may be the difference where he hit that bag.
It's either going to be a 4-3 ground out or an infield hit for Iglesias, who was barreling down the line. And they've got their decision apparently. They called him out. Yeah, from the replays we saw, there just wasn't enough, I don't think, to overturn that call. So the call stands. That'll bring up Ian Kinsler. Also brings us to the Bernstein advantage. The matchup that he's had with Nolasco. Here are the updated numbers. 389 now against Nolasco.
With some extra base damage. 3 of the 7 have gone for doubles, and he's driven in 4. Against Ricky. That little get me over breaking ball at 81 miles an hour. Just enough to keep the hitter off balance.
Popped up. Dozier and Mauer. Dozier to the grass. And Kinsler is 0 for 2. 2 gone. We'll bring up J.D. Martinez. J.D. flying to center field in his only at bat so far. Nolasco last year had ankle surgery. That's why he was limited to just 9 appearances. And with all the injuries they've had on their pitching staff this year, he's become critical. A lot of guys on the DL, including Santana, Kyle Gibson, and even the closer Glenn Perkins.
Second time through the batting order, Nolasco has gone to that really slow breaking ball that he likes to throw at different speeds. First time through, Tigers got quite a few fastballs to hit.
A little high.
That was just a show me fastball. He might go back to it, which pitchers very rarely do, double up with fastballs up in the zone, or he might go to that breaking ball again. fastball.
And he was tardy on it. Martinez now 5 for 16 against Nolasco. They are playing him to pull. Tigers in game 1 in the series had 18 hits in their 9-2 victory. Last night they were limited to just 6 hits, but still won the ball game. And again, the 3-2.
He has thrown J.D. Martinez everything. Couple of fastballs up. That last fastball tailing in on the hands of J.D. He's thrown him a couple of those really slow breaking balls at different speeds. J.D. has seen it all. See if he can benefit from it.
Checked it. Did he go? He did. Strike 3 called. Martinez is out of there. It's a 1-2-3 for Ricky Nolasco. His second strikeout of the ball game. Two to 1 is our score as we go to the bottom of the 3rd here in Minneapolis. Target Field to sight. Twins got a couple of runs in the first. The Tigers answered with 1 in the second. Joe Mauer leads it off. Pelfrey goes back to work and fires strike 1 to Mauer.
It's one thing Mauer will do. He will give you that first pitch right over the heart of the plate if you're able to throw it for a strike. Very seldom swings. Not afraid to hit behind in the count.
2-out single to center field in the first start of their rally. Mauer's had a big on base percentage this year. In fact, it leads the American League. .453 coming in. He's drawn a lot of walks. As we told you in his last at bat on base in 25 consecutive games now.
He looks better this year than he has the last couple of years as far as that swing is concerned. There was a time where Mauer had the best swing in all of baseball for a left-handed batter. Lots of hits to left field, lots of hits to center field. When you do that, your career batting average is going to be above 300.
Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball right side. It's going to find a hole. 2-hit game for Mauer, leadoff single.
Cannot get him out. That's the one pitch as well that you want to make on him. You get him to roll over to the right side of the infield. You usually are able to get him out. We're going to make it our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. He takes the very first pitch right down the middle. And then he takes that really good splitter, a fastball down. Then he takes a swing at the next split finger fastball down, but right between Ian Kinsler and Miguel Cabrera. That's usually a win-win situation for the pitcher when you get Mauer to roll over toward that direction.
Miguel Sano walked in, scored in the first.
You guys all know by now that Pelfrey is a ground ball artist. And there's no doubt that that's exactly what he's trying to get Sano to do, to hit the ball on the ground so he can get his defenders to turn a double play behind him.
Way outside. 2-0 on Sano. 18 home runs last year for Sano, which was the most since the mid-90s when Marty Cordova back in 1995 hit 24 as a Twins rookie.
Marty was rookie of the year that season.
Big swing there by Sano. Yeah, Cordova looked like he was on his way to a big career, but always had those injuries, and plantar fasciitis really was a big problem for him.
Yeah.
Injuries can derail careers, or at least slow them down. 2-1. Three balls, one strike. Pelfrey in that first inning allowed 3 singles and a walk. Byung-Ho Park waiting on deck. Pelfrey in search of that ground ball. The 3-1. Headed back to the seats and out of play. 3-2 on Miguel Sano.
And now decision time for Paul Molitor. And 3-2 count on a guy that strikes out a lot. And that would be Sano. The only one that has punched out more than him in the American League is Justin Upton. But you also know that Pelfrey throws a lot of ground balls. So we'll see which direction Paul Molitor wants to go with this 3-2 pitch.
It qualifies as a conundrum. He's about to make his decision. Runner going. Drill to left field. That ball is a fair ball. Up against the wall. Into the seats it goes. It's going to be a ground rule double, and that'll help. They can send Mauer back to third. So that'll save a run for the time being.
It's a good at bat here by Sano. He got a 2-seam fastball at 93, but look at him pull his hands in. He looked like a young Miguel Cabrera right there, pulling his hands in that tightly to keep that 2-seam fastball at 93 miles an hour fair. He hits a lot of line drives anyway. 43% line drive rate this season, which leads all of baseball for the youngster Miguel Sano. And that will qualify as a line drive.
Yes, it would. Here is Byung-Ho Park.
I don't know how he kept that ball fair.
Park went the other way his first time up, single to right field, knocking in a run. Signed to a 4-year contract from Korea. The 1-0 swing and a miss.
Uncomfortable, uncomfortable looking swing there by Park. He's badly fooled on that split finger fastball.
Pelfrey's had some good drop on that pitch today.
Yes, he has.
Here's the 1-1 inside. Back him out of there. 2-1 on Byung-Ho Park. Talking about his power in Korea. In the 9 years that he played there, he hit better than 200 home runs, but almost half of those came in the last 2 years. And signed by the Twins to a contract. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss again. How about these numbers last year in Korea?
146 ribbies? Whoa.
He was doing some serious damage.
Yeah,
I bet he wasn't hitting too many solo shots last year.
He was not. It's major damage. Well, Pelfrey's already thrown him 3 split-fingered fastballs in this particular at-bat. And it's working very well for him. Does he dare do it again?
Bouncing ball foul. Two and two. The count remains on Byung-Ho Park. Two runs on 6 hits for Minnesota. The Tigers are run on 2 hits. Twins have something going here as you look at the pitch count now at 60 on Mike Pelfrey. At 31 pitch first inning, the big difference. And he struck him out swinging. That's a big out, 1 away. Time for a game break now. We check in with Mickey York. Down goes Frazier. 1 away now, and here is Oswaldo Arcia. Pelfrey trying to slowly work out of this jam. Arcia slaps one foul back out of play.
Huge shift on the Tigers infield with Iglesias all the way around towards second base. Kinsler in right field. Miguel, of course, covering that line. And you've got runners on second and third. So I guess what Brad is saying is that he does not believe that Arcia can beat the shift. And he's probably got some numbers to back him up.
Here is Pelfrey's 0-1.
Now here's the numbers. When shifted, 160. And for Arcia, 333 when they don't shift on him. That's why the Tigers are playing this kind of alignment with runners on second and third and 1 out. You would think, man, he'd just try to hit one right by the shortstop, wouldn't you?
You would think. I mean, we say that about a lot of guys, though, but not enough of them do it to this point. That's why you continue to see these massive shifts. The 0-2 high. And I guess there's also, you know, it depends on what guy, too. I mean, there's some guys that probably just don't feel comfortable in their skills to be able to do that.
Right. It really changed the season of Moustakas last year. Also, Eric Hosmer of the Kansas City Royals, a couple of guys that got shifted on prior to last season, but both guys had career years hitting balls the opposite way. They took advantage of the shifts.
Yeah, the Tigers went from shifting Moustakas to pretty much playing him straight up.
Yeah, they did.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and a couple of big strikeouts for Pelfrey.
Got one more big out to get.
2 gone.
Couple of splitters down, then upstairs with a 4-seam fastball that he threw right by Arcia.
Here's Eduardo Escobar. Single, double, and a pair of punch outs. That ball bouncing into the seats kept the Twins from getting a run. We'll see now if Pelfrey can finish this off with Escobar, who grounded out in his first at bat. Strike one. Escobar hit that ground ball back in the first, which would have scored a run. It caromed off the glove of Cabrera right to Kinsler, who charged on it and eventually threw the runner out. Now the 0-1. Ground ball right to first. Knocked down by Miggy. He'll stay with it, and a nice job by Pelfrey to pitch out of the jam. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left.
Let's take a look at cricket, something to smile about in the big fella. He's given us a lot to smile about the last 6 days. It started on Monday in Oakland, where he had a monster day, a couple of big flies the opposite way, and he's been doing major damage since then. And because he's woken up, the entire offense has, and they've ran off 4 games in a row.
Smiles and hugs.
That was a big hug, big man hug right there.
Last 6 games, Cabrera is 11 for 26. We'll get it started now against Nolasco as we go to the 4th.
Before Miggy went 11 for 26, he was in a slump. He was 2 for 25, which is unusual for Miggy.
Average was hovering around 200 at that point. Also unusual. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nolasco gave up a double, a single, and a sac fly in the second. He got the Tigers 1, 2, 3 in the third.
Good pitch to hit right there.
Here's the 2-1. Fly ball. Shallow center field. Dozier going back. Ooh, tough play, and he dropped it.
Oh,
Miguel to second is going to be out. Santana, the center fielder, broke back on that ball, so he had no chance.
And it was a very difficult play for Dozier. There's a lot of wind up in a lot of wind here today, as it was yesterday, and you can see he is fighting it. He's pretty sure-handed at second base, but he's not able to get there. And Miggy probably should have just stayed at first base because I don't believe he was running all that hard from the get-go.
Not so sure he was out. Tigers not challenging the play. The throw clearly beat him there. One gone, and here is Victor Martinez. Fouled back 0-1. Victor had a double to get it started back in the second. He eventually scored on a fly ball by Nick Castellanos. And Martinez now is up to .338 on the season. Ten doubles now for Martinez to lead the team. That's how they play him defensively. Swing and a miss. Velasco ready with the 1-2. And a foul straight back. Victor's still one of the toughest batters to strike out in the American League. There are three of them in this game. Mauer's in the top 10, Iglesias and Victor Martinez.
He is the best hitter in the world when he is falling behind in the count. That's just how good Victor has been. He's been awfully steady, whether batting right-handed or left-handed.
And he pulls that one on the ground. Diving play. Dozier has plenty of time to get to his feet.
Here is the Magic Moonshot presented by Magic Window. Tigers in yesterday's ball game. It jumped out to a 3-run lead, and it was courtesy of the home run off of Justin Upton's bat.
You know the thing about that ball, Rod, yesterday, he hit that thing into a pretty stiff wind. It was howling yesterday.
Cut right through it, didn't it?
Yes, it did, like a knife. Upton had a single, stole a base in the second inning, and he'll take strike one.
Yeah, Ricky Nolasco starting a lot of these Tigers off with breaking balls second time through. Just about everybody.
Swing and a miss. He's got ahead now, 0-2. Velasco out of Corona, California, 33 years old. They signed him with high hopes. 4-year free agent contract in December of 2013, but in the 3 years with the Twins, his ERA is over 5.
Yeah, he's finally giving them a little bit of return on their investment this year.
Under contract through next season. The 0-2.
He has not been afraid to throw his fastball this year, whereas the last couple of years, because the hitters had really good numbers against his fastball, he kind of shied away from it last year and started throwing a lot of breaking balls. But this year, better command with the fastball up to 92, and then he's got the real good 10-mile-per-hour differential as far as his off-speed pitches are concerned, which gets a lot of swings and misses on his breaking stuff.
Velasco spent the first 8 years of his career with the Marlins over in the National League. Brief time with the Dodgers. A couple of years ago, pitched well down the stretch for them, and now here comes Kevin Rand out. Something wrong with Upton.
That side.
Yeah, and looks like he's trying to stretch it out.
Yes, he is. He pointed to his right side when Kevin and Brad went out trying to loosen up.
Velasco stays away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Upton.
Here's that pitch inside, and you can see him grimace after this, and this is why Brad and also Kevin Rand went out to check on him.
Swing and a miss. Upton out on strikes. That'll take care of the Tigers in the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left.
Pelfrey was a New York Met. He wore number 34 when he came here to Minnesota. That wasn't an option because they had retired it to honor Kirby Puckett. So he's been 37 with the Twins and now the Tigers. And speaking of uniform numbers, you may remember that Andrew Romine wore number 27 last year with Detroit. And when the phone rang this winter, he was not surprised. The Tigers had just signed Jordan Zimmerman, who wanted to inquire about a uniform shift. And usually there's some exchange when that happens. Romine, a good teammate, good guy, didn't want anything from Zimmerman. Ultimately, he got a watch. Mario Rod, we can assume it was probably a very nice watch.
Yeah, it was. And I guess the exchange happened in spring training where Zim came in and offered him, well, not offered him, but showed him 4 different watches, and his teammates said, take all 4 of them. Don't pick one. But, yeah, that's what goes on in the numbers game here when teams or players change teams. But Romine said, I'm not really attached to my number. I don't care. Go ahead and take it. But he took the watch anyway.
Yeah, he did.
Smart man. Kurt Suzuki leading it off. He'll be followed by Rosario and then Santana in a 2-1 ball game. Pelfrey goes back to work. He wiggled out of a jam in the 3rd single double with nobody out, but did not allow a run. There's a ground ball to 3rd. Look at that play by Castellanos. His throw is in time.
Look out, Nick. I see you.
A one-hop throw to Cabrera to complete that. Castellanos took a double away from Suzuki.
But I love the way that he took his time. I mean, he played in that hot corner position. You only have a split second before you decide to make that play or not. And he went to his right, made an outstanding play, and then he gathered himself. He turned the body and he bounced the ball over to McGill on purpose to get the out of Suzuki. That's a real nice play there by Castellanos.
One out for Eddie Rosario. Rosario fly to center field in his only at bat. On the outer edge, a strike called.
And Pelfrey's thrown about 65% fastballs this afternoon to the Minnesota Twins hitters. And 35% off speed. Off speed could be that split-fingered fastball or either his breaking ball. Most of his fastballs are two-seam variety. Ooh, he's had a really nasty splitter today.
Rosario has swung and missed a lot in this series. That's a good pitch, though.
But look at it right there. And all of a sudden you see it, and then it's gone.
Here's the 0-2. Wasted back out of play.
Next pitch, more than likely, Pelfrey will go upstairs to see if he can get Rosario to swing at one across the letters.
Pelfrey has had at least one base runner in every inning so far.
They're going to talk about it. Solosamaki wanted the breaking ball. He called for the splitter first, then he called for the curveball. He did not want to throw either pitch. They settled on the fastball, but we'll see what they do now. Here's our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. 94. And top fastball for Pelfrey. Pelfrey's a big dude, man. He's 6'7", 6'8". You walk by him, man, he's huge.
He is 6 feet 7 inches tall. Chris Young is 6'10". Doug Fister is 6'8". Like a couple of guys. We've seen a few.
What's that guy in this bullpen here that came in the other day? Was he 6'11"?
No, he was 6'9" or 6'10". I have to check that out. They're growing him bigger. Alex Meyer is the reliever you're speaking of. Alex Meyer is 6'9".
John Roush used to pitch for the Minnesota Twins. He was 6'11".
Whoa. Rosario waits on a 1-2. In the air towards center, on the move, Anthony goes. 2 up, 2 down. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Top of the order now, Danny Santana.
Santana might attempt to bunt here. He does have some very good bunting skills. Castellanos not necessarily buying it on his side of the diamond. Starting to creep in now from third base. That was the slowest pitch of the afternoon thrown by Mike.
Here's the 1-0. Santana single strikeout steal. Another big swing there by Santana.
He trying to hit it out of here?
Looks like it with that swing. Twins saw Santana as basically a utility player, and then he hit .391 this spring. He's gotten starts in center field in every game in this series. And he slaps one toward third where Castellanos has it. And that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Pelfrey, who's pitched all right so far in this one, but he's received some help from his defense. Castellanos, a nice play. Twins 2 and the Tigers 1 as we go to the top of the 5th inning now at Target Field. Great day for baseball here in Minneapolis, and a great day for the Tigers to get themselves a sweep. They've won the first 2 games of the series. They've managed only 1 run, though, so far against Ricky Nolasco, Castellanos, Saltalamacchia, and then Anthony Gose in the Tigers' 5th. And the first one is hit for a strike on Castellanos. Playing to pull on the infield. Nick had a sacrifice fly to drive in a run in the second. 15 driven in now for Castellanos.
$19,000 shifts last year in Major League Baseball. Over 19,000. In this season, I heard a number that Major League Baseball's on pace to have over 30,000 shifts this year.
Whoa. There's a drive. Caught on a leap by Escobar. What a play. He could not go any higher than that.
He showed some hops because he really had to go from a standstill position. He didn't have the luxury of going to the left or to the right because the ball was hit directly at him. So he simply had to elevate, and he did so, taking away a base hit from Castellanos.
Both sides playing some good defense in this one. Here's Saltalamacchia. He struck out in the second, 0 for 1. We're talking about James McCann possibly coming back, probably I should say, coming back in the Cleveland series. They want him to get a few more at bats. But physically, everything is all systems go with that ankle. Here's the 1-1. Rip foul down the right field line.
That means Saltalamacchia will go back to the role that he had at the beginning of the year, and getting 1 start a week, possibly 2. Pinch hitter off the bench with some pop.
6 homers this year for Salty. The only guy in the clubhouse that gets his name abbreviated on the lineup card. It's just not enough room. 1-2 is rolled foul. 14 letters worth.
It's the longest name in the majors, right? Or it's the longest name in Tigers history?
Yeah, both.
Both?
Yeah.
From one armpit all the way down to the other one.
Here's the 1-2. Fly ball center field. Routine for Danny Santana. 2 up, 2 down. You don't forget you can support breast health awareness and Pink Out the Park on Mother's Day, May 8th. The Tigers hosting the Rangers at 1:10. Get a ticket plus a special Pink Out the Park t-shirt by purchasing at tigers.com/pinkouts.
Tigers is what, just a little three-game homestand, right?
Rangers for 3, that's it. Mother's Day on Sunday.
And back out for 7.
Washington and Baltimore on the next road trip.
You're going to get a chance to do a little radio in Washington, D.C., right?
I am.
You nervous?
No.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm beyond nervous. I'm too old to be nervous, Rod. It's been a while. I did a game in spring training, which was a lot of fun.
Sounded good.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I like riding the bike.
It is.
You did that for a long time.
I know it. Anthony Gose standing in with 2 outs, nobody on. The only thing about doing those games in Washington, you've been to that booth up there, so you know.
Yep.
You're about a $5 cab ride away from the Big Dipper. You're so high up there.
Yes. It's one of the highest vantage points that we have, along with Pittsburgh. I love this ballpark, man. I mean, this ballpark is nice. Is special. Players love it too. Clubhouse is nice. Playing surface is unbelievable.
Apparently the Tigers see the ball well here too.
Yes, that might have something to do with it.
I mean, they've been limited to just 3 hits today, but typically they hit very well in this park. 2-2 on Anthony Gose.
Tigers always struggle with guys like Velasco. I don't know what it is, but guys that have decent breaking balls and guys that throw breaking balls in any count. The Tigers just don't usually have a lot of success against those types.
Toward left field, hit pretty good. Rosario's on the move to the wall. He looks up, it's off the wall. Extra bases, Gose on his way to third. He's going to try for 3, and he's going to get in there. 3-bagger to left field for Anthony Gose. That you don't see very often.
This ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. I don't know what Rosario was doing here, but he got too close to the wall. If he was not going to leap to try to make the play, and because he got this close to the wall without attempting to catch it, Gose with his speed able to get all the way over to third base.
So the Tigers now have the tying run just 90 feet away, and they've got a contact guy up there and Jose Iglesias. Ball 1 to Iglesias. 4-3 ground out in his first at bat on a bang play at first base that was challenged. Ball 2 high. It's another hit in the series for Gose, who now has 3 hits, and he's been on base 6 times. Ooh, strike call, 2-1. Two and 2 now on Iglesias. Top of the order, waiting on deck, Ian Kinsler. Velasco trying to pitch around the 2-out triple. Bouncing ball off the glove of Velasco. They're not going to get a play, and the run will score is an infield hit for Iglesias, ties the game at 2.
Iglesias thought he had an infield single his last time up, but they reviewed the play and it was not overturned. This time, Glasgow not able to make the play, slowed it down just enough for Iglesias to score, even though Dozier, the second baseman, came in a hurry and made a nice play, but could not get Jose.
RBI for Iglesias. He was smelling hit right there, knew he had it.
There's now 35 infield singles for Iglesias, and since the beginning of last year, and good for 4th in the majors.
A 2-out triple by Anthony Gose set him up, and Iglesias knocked him in.
As many breaking balls as Nolasco has started to throw, and Iglesias may as well steal a bag.
Swing and a miss.
Nolasco's breaking pitch must be a really good one, because we've seen a lot of the Tigers hitters just flail at it here this afternoon.
Pop up in a line out to right field for Kinsler, who has cooled a little bit. He's 1 for 9 in the series.
56% of the 81 thrown so far this afternoon by Nolasco have been off speed, either that split-fingered fastball or that breaking ball.
Ball low, 1 ball and 1 strike on Kinsler.
Nolasco does a nice job with his fastball, just kind of showing you the fastball. Not really throwing a lot of fastballs for strikes, but he will throw it up there inside. Some he elevates, some down low, only to get back to the pitch that he wants to get you out with. and which is his off-speed stuff.
Kinsler was out on that front foot, but the pitch missed. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Tigers have done a nice job with 2 outs this year in scoring runs. 7th highest number in the majors with 42%.
Drilled to center field. Santana is on the move, still going back to the track, to the wall to make the catch. Danny Santana runs it down, and the Tigers will settle for 1, but they tie it up. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Go to the bottom of the 5th at Target Field in Minneapolis, and Mike Pelfrey goes back to the mound. He's going to have to deal with 2, 3, and 4 now. Dozier, Mauer, and Sano. Tigers tied up on an infield hit by Iglesias. Dozier showing bunt, ball 1.
Dozier struggling so much this year, partner. He might want to go back to his original walk-up song, that country music.
So do you think that has a lot to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, he's walking up the Fetty Wap now. It ain't working too well for him. I guess because that's the Kansas City Royals guy.
It's the 1-0 pitch.
If you weren't with us a couple of days ago, we told the story about the owner of Minnesota Twins telling Dozier that he needed to change his walk-up song. He said the country song that he was walking up to was putting fans to sleep. So Dozier called some of his peeps back in Mississippi and found out who was hot, and they told him Fetty Wap was the guy.
Again, I'm going to bring up the point that how big is Fetty Wap in Mississippi?
He must be big, man.
It's kind of surprising to me that that would be the suggestion.
He's from New Jersey. He's big in Jersey, too.
Oh, boy. 3 balls, no strikes on Dozier. And you look at a strike on the outside corner. Dozier a ground out, then a line out. He whistled one to the third baseman Castellanos last time up. Hit it right at him, though. Now Pelfrey's 3-1. He's going to walk him. Leadoff man is on.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Pelfrey was in a jam. Runners on second and third with no outs, but he got Park on a split-fingered fastball. He got Arcia at the top of the zone with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. And then he got Escobar to ground out and a fist pump to the first base umpire. He was so happy to get out of that jam.
Well, he may have another one brewing here after the leadoff walk, and Joe Mauer standing in.
Well, he has to make sure that he keeps Dozier at first base, keep his double play in order. And once you stop concentrating on Dozier, you need to turn your full attention to the man in the batter's box, Joe Mauer.
Mauer has 2 more hits today, both singles. He has scored a run, the average now at .337. So he's doing nothing to hurt that on-base percentage, which came in as the best in the American League.
He has already won batting titles. He's been an MVP.
Ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 12 years now with the Minnesota Twins at the major league level. There are just a couple of other guys right now that are active that have had at least 12 years with one team. David Wright, Ryan Howard.
I don't know for sure, but it appears that Mauer, especially with the contract that he has, he's going to spend his entire career in the Twin Cities. But you never know.
No, you don't. I mean, this is his hometown. Yadier Molina, the other guy with 12 or more.
When Mauer was in high school here, he was a Gatorade High School Player of the Year in baseball and football in the country.
Great athlete. Who's going to go what to Florida State?
Florida State, I think, to play quarterback.
Man.
We talk about Pelfrey, not Pelfrey, but Jordan Zimmerman, who pitched a brilliant game yesterday. He was a good athlete in high school. He was going to college to play some football too. He played football, he played basketball, and of course he played baseball too. Probably made the right choice though.
I would think so, based on his April and everything else he's done in the major leagues. Strike called. Mauer didn't like that one. Stares down at the dirt. 1-2 on Joe. Miguel Sano waiting on deck. It seems like everything Mauer is hitting is back up the middle.
Or the other way. And that's why they're defending him the way that they are. They're kind of bunching him on the left side of the field. Center field, left field, shortstop, and third base. Just got great balance throughout his entire swing.
So much is made of hand-eye coordination and great hitters, but you bring up a key term in balance. How important is that?
Oh, it's key. And without really good balance, you really can't get the kind of bat speed that you need to generate to hit good big league pitching if you're off balance. So you have to have some stabilization in your lower half, on the balls of your feet. Mauer does it as well as most.
There's the 2-2. Driven in the air toward left field. That ball is hit well. Upton going back to the track, to the wall, and that ball is in play. It's off the wall. This will get a run in, and Mauer has himself a double, and the Twins have regained the lead.
I think Justin played that like he thought that ball's out of the ballpark. They probably don't get the out of Dozier at home plate anyway, but I think Justin thought that ball was out, and so does Paul Molitor. He's going to come out and ask that the umpires at least take a look at it or inquire about it. You can't really ask them to look at homers, but you can inquire about it.
Yeah, they're going to look at it. Did it hit that railing and bounce back? There's another angle.
It looks like a homer to me.
Yeah, I think it was a homer. We shall see.
It would be the only second home run of the year for Mauer.
And he hit it a long way the other way, which was just what we're talking about, his MO this season. Top of the wall. No,
Double.
Double. Okay.
They looked at it.
RBI for Mauer, his 8th. So the Twins Twins have gone back on top now, 3-2. Still nobody out. Here is Miguel Sano.
Among active players against the Tigers, Joe Mauer came into this game with 203 hits, which was more than anybody else in the big leagues against Tigers pitching. And make that 206 now. And of course, he's up there in walks, runs scored, RBIs, doubles, you name it.
Ball 1-2, Sano. He's had a nice game with a double and a walk. He has also scored a run. Sano is back at third today. He's been playing some right field in this series. The Twins are without Trevor Plouffe, who's currently on the disabled list, their third baseman. And from everything we've heard, despite his size, Sano is very nimble around third base.
Well, that's his best position. They have him playing right field now out of necessity because Trevor Plouffe is their third baseman, and Plouffe's going to come off the disabled list on Tuesday, so he's going to have to go back out to right field. But in the future, there are many believe that Plouffe will be sent somewhere else, and Sano will be their third baseman for a long time.
Alex Wilson, Kyle Ryan warming up in the Tigers bullpen.
Pelfrey has walked 2 today, and both of his walks have come around to score.
He's at 93 pitches right now. His highest for the year is 104. He's done that twice. Ground ball back up the middle, off the glove of Iglesias. Mauer will go to third. They're going to stop him there. Hard hit ball. Looked like Iglesias would get there at least to knock it down.
Yeah, we've seen Iglesias make this play for sure.
That's going to leave him now at first and third, nobody out. They ruled that a base hit. So Sano now is 2 for 2 with a walk. Pelfrey chewed up Young-Home Park in his last at bat. He struck him out. There's the ball low and away. Saltalamacchia had to go down and block it. That is 8 hits now for the Minnesota Twins. They'll bring Salty back out to the mound. Park had a single to knock in a run in the first inning. Twins got 2 in the first. Tigers came back with single runs to tie it. Now Minnesota back on top. Inside, 2-0. Oswaldo Arcia waiting on deck. He is a left-hander. Then you've got the switch hitter Escobar. Here's the 2-0. 3-0. I think they go get Kyle Ryan if he loses the hitter here.
I do.
Ryan's been warming up.
Even if he doesn't lose him, this might be his last batter.
And the 3-0 inside, ball 4. That loads the bases. That's going to be it. Pelfrey will depart the scene here. He is responsible for the 3 runners. Wallside windows pitching change. They'll go to the bullpen and we'll be back.
field. It was after a frightening incident at Fenway Park that Major League Baseball in the offseason decreed that the netting behind home plate would be extended. Here at Target Field, they've taken that to an extreme. The netting is 7 feet high and goes to the opposite end of the dugouts. The Twins alerted their season ticket holders that this was coming because they know some people don't want to sit behind netting. But Mario and Rod, I think the players are pushing for the netting to be standard in pretty much every ballpark.
Yeah, they are, Keith, and they should too, because safety of the fans, I think, should be paramount, and you get used to the netting.
Well, I mean, where some of those fans sit right behind the respective dugouts on both sides, sometimes the ball gets into the stands so fast, so quickly, that you can't even react.
Even if you are paying attention. Kyle Ryan has come on with the bases loaded, facing Arcia. Big spot in this game when you consider the bases are loaded with nobody out, and the Twins have regained the lead.
Kyle Ryan, when coming into games this year, has inherited 4 base runners, one of which scored. He's got 3 out there. He's trying to strand now for his buddy, Mike Pelfrey.
Off the end of the bat, foul. 1-2 on Oswaldo Arcia.
I don't know if they'll go with a breaking ball here to try to get the strikeout, which is exactly what he wants to do, or whether he will elevate the fastball and go upstairs to Arcia.
Don't normally see guys with a 154 average with the bases loaded.
Yeah, it's usually a lot higher.
Last appearance was on the 28th against Oakland for Kyle Ryan. 1 1/3 scoreless. Another one fouled back out of play. So Pelfrey goes 4 plus 4 batters. Walked 3 in this game. Escobar waiting on deck. A soft line drive to left, base hit. 1 run will score. They're going to hold Sano at third base. Mauer is in, and a soft serve to left makes it 4-2.
That is a nice piece of hitting there by Arcia, who the Tigers usually shift on, but they weren't shifting in that particular situation. Every single pitch that he got from Kyle Ryan was something that was away from him, and he knew beyond a shadow of a doubt he was going to get another pitch away from him, and he went down and hit a really good pitch for a base hit the opposite way. You don't hit that ball in that direction like that unless you know you're going to get that pitch. And he knew it.
So that run is charged to Pelfrey. Still loaded for Escobar. Ground ball toward third, foul. Escobar's hit a couple on the ground. He is 0 for 2. .250 batting average this year. The RBIs in this inning belong to Mauer and Arcia. Popped up foul back into the seats.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
346 with bases loaded.
Pelfrey can only hope right now that Ryan can get the job done here. The 0-2. Foul away. Twins got 2 in the first. They've added 2 more here in the 5th. Low, good block by Saltalamacchia, keeping Sano at third base. Ryan split the 2015 season between the Tigers and the minor leagues, AAA. Wilson still warming in the Detroit bullpen. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes, one gone. Big out there.
The previous pitch was a breaking ball down at the bottom of the strike zone, and we saw Saltalamacchia go down and block it. So that gave Ryan the confidence to throw the next pitch down there, knowing that his catcher would be able to bail him out, and he made a really nice pitch.
Here comes Ausmus to make another pitching change. They'll bring Wilson in, Alex that is. Wall side windows pitching change. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Back here in Minneapolis, where the Tigers are now down by 2. And the Twins have the bases loaded, 1 out. They will face a new Tigers pitcher, and that is Alex Wilson.
Wilson started the season on the disabled list, but since coming back, he's been in 6 games. He has not given up a run. The whip is under 1, well under 1. 8 strikeouts, no walks for Wilson.
He threw a 1-2-3-6 in the first game of this series. Here's Kurt Suzuki. Ball 1 high. Couple of ground balls by Suzuki. The Tigers could desperately use one here.
He has grounded into 1 twin killing so far this year.
I see what you did there, twin killing.
He liked it.
That's pretty good. Now Wilson ready with the 1-0. Rolled foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pelfrey faced 4 batters here in the 5th. Ryan faced 2. Now Wilson trying to get that ground ball. Way outside. 2 balls and 1 strike on Kurt Suzuki. It's been around a while. In fact, his 5th among actives in games caught. He's been with Washington and the Oakland A's. Final year of a 3-year deal here with the Twins. Drilled toward left field, right at Upton. Sano will tag, catch is made, and the throw will come into third base. Sac fly and an RBI for Suzuki. Fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to the App Store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream Tigers baseball wherever you go. Suzuki gets his 6th RBI. Here's Eddie Rosario. 5-2 ball game. And Rosario swings and misses. A couple of fly balls to center field for Rosario. Back out of play, no balls and 2 strikes. Mauer, Arcia, and Suzuki with the Twins RBIs. The Tigers had tied it at 2, and the Twins answer with 3. And it all started with a walk to Brian Dozier here in the 5th. It'll bounce in. Saltalamacchia blocks it. Tigers wrapping up this series here in Minneapolis today. Off day in Cleveland tomorrow, and then a 3-game set begins on Tuesday at Progressive Field. Line to right field, straight at J.D. Martinez, and that will end the inning. But Twins get 3, and we go to the 6th in Minneapolis.
Keeping the ball out of the center of the plate. Take a look at some of these pitches that he's throwing to J.D. Martinez. Fastballs, breaking balls away, then upstairs, then breaking balls inside, 2 seamers inside, then he finished them off with a good breaking ball down. And that's pretty much what he has done to all the right-handed batters so far today. They really have not been able to barrel him up all that consistently.
Well, Nolasco now will face the 2, 3, and 4 guys in the Tigers lineup.
He started J.D. Martinez off with a slow breaking ball his last time up.
Strikeout and a flyout for Martinez. In there for a strike, 0-1. J.D. now 1 for 10 in this series. Nolasco with the 0-1 pitch. A pop up. Foul ground. Suzuki will make the basket catch. J.D. is out, 1 gone. Hey, Saturday, May 7th, the Tigers face the Rangers at 1:10 p.m. Be sure to arrive early for the special pregame on-field clinic hosted by Tigers players and coaches. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Always a fun day at the ballpark, the pregame clinic.
It is a good day for the kids. You learn from the coaches, some of the players.
There's a ball high to Cabrera.
That Texas Rangers team playing some decent baseball, too. They're out in front. In first place in the West.
Rangers winning again today. I'm really surprised. I don't know if you're surprised, and maybe not as much as me, at how poorly Houston has played this year.
Oh my goodness, they're 10 games under.
I know. I mean,
they're 10 games under, and they're 7 games out of first place already.
There's a step back, and then there's a step back. Two balls, one strike on Miguel. Cabrera popped one up his last time. It dropped in, but he tried to get the second and was thrown out.
And that slow breaking ball, man, they just cannot stay back on it. Easier said than done.
Swing and a miss. Easier said than done is right. 2 gone.
He did this to the Tigers last year. We talked about Victor at the top of our show today and all the damage that he's been able to do in the month of April as far as extra base hits are concerned. 14 this year, only 1 last year, and then May 1st, which was today, he doubled in his first time up, so another extra base hit for V-Mark.
Whoa, that's pretty good. 7 for 11 in the series. Victor double ground out. 10 doubles on the year now for Martinez.
Everybody's on the grass for Victor. How about this defensive alignment?
There's only 1 guy in the dirt. Well, really, I guess technically 2 guys. The third baseman is on the edge of the dirt.
I mean, you got guys here, you got guys out here, 1 over here. As deep as you could possibly go, they're basically on the grass. I think this is what Joe Girardi was talking about the other day when he said if he was commissioner for a day, what would he do? And he said he would outlaw the shifts.
What do you think of those comments?
Well, there's not only him, and Mike Scioscia is also making some real strong comments talking about he feels like it's a fad. It's going to go away sooner or later, you know, and there's a lot of people that just don't understand it, but they're all doing it.
Yeah, I don't know that you can thwart the evolution of the game, and this is the way the game is evolving. Swing and a miss. I mean, for my money, I would think that this would make guys better hitters because it would force them to go the other way, but that is slow to happen.
Well, there have been some guys that have made the adjustment, and there's been some that have been slow to adjust.
Now back the other way goes Sano. With 2 strikes on Martinez, 2-2 the count. Ripped fair down the right field line. Victor will round the bag and hold with a single. It's another hit for Martinez in the series.
He is just seeing the baseball as well as we've seen him see the ball since the 2014 season when he was runner-up to Mike Trout for the MVP. This ball is down in Victor's happy zone, and take a look at how the hands come with the hips. The hands come with the hips, real good balance, and he hits an absolute missile down the right field line. Hits it so hard he can only get a single. What do you got on these numbers right here, Mario?
Well, that's kind of good, isn't it?
464 when he is behind in the count. That could be 0-1, that could be 1-2.
And that's into right field, a base hit for Upton. That'll move Martinez to second.
That is the 7th hit for Justin Upton in the last 3 games. And at least 3 or 4, at least 5 of those hits have gone the opposite way. 91-mile-per-hour fastball outside. He simply went with it.
And they're starting to scurry in the bullpen. Now you are one swing of the bat from Mr. Castellanos away from tying this one up. Trevor May is throwing in the Minnesota bullpen. We saw Trevor May in yesterday's game. So we'll see what the Tigers now can do with a pair of 2-out singles. Nick has an RBI with a fly ball. He's also lined out to Escobar, who made a leaping play on him in his last at bat.
He's also taken the first pitch in 2 of his 3 plate appearances today, which is something he does not do all the time.
Ball 1.
Well, both of his plate appearances, he's only had 2.
He is joined by Fernando Abad, the left-hander. Rolled foul. 1-1 on Castellanos.
And Castellanos came into play today leading the American League in batting with a .363 batting average. Using the whole field, doesn't use right field as much as the other 2, center and left, but he's hitting for power too. Extra base power. He's got a few homers.
Here's the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Castellanos. Here's the count on Nolasco.
He's had a couple of stressful innings in the 2nd and also the 5th. And those are the innings where the Tigers scored their runs.
Wouldn't chase. 2-2. 5-2 Twins. Tigers threaten here in the 6th.
Wally Joyner today, when the Tigers hitters were kind of coming down to hit in the cages before the game today. They all take swings in the cage before they take regular batting practice. And the one thing he kept preaching to the guys was lay off those breaking balls out of the strike zone. Lay off the breaking balls out of the strike zone. And they had a tough time doing so.
2-2. The count stays on Castellanos.
They knew exactly what Nolasco would feature here today. There's Wally Joyner and David Newhand, and the 2 coaches that handle the hitters.
Now Nolasco again with the 2-2. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pretty good here. Castellanos has 24 career RBIs against the Twins. That is more than any other opponent that he's faced. Full count. Let's see what Nolasco comes back with here. You've got Saltalamacchia waiting on deck. And the 3-2. Fly ball in the air to left field. Ball hit well to the track, to the wall. And Castellanos has tied it up. It is gone. A home run. Nick goes deep to make it a 5-5 game.
He finally stayed back on one of those hanging breaking balls that Nolasco has been featuring all afternoon long.
4th home run of the year. He takes a 3-2 pitch and hammers it to left.
It's a breaking ball that's up in the strike zone. Nick stayed back until the last possible moment, and then he reached out and caught it just right. And Nick knew it was gone because he carried the bat halfway down the first baseline. What a big knock.
A 2-out rally for the Tigers with the exclamation point, the home run by Castellanos. And he doesn't show a whole lot of emotion normally, but he is right there.
And he added to that RBI total against the Twins.
Nolasco is chased out of the game, and it's a brand new game. 5-5 here in Minneapolis. Now 5-5 is our score. The Nick Castellanos 2-out 3-run shot has knotted this game.
Tigers have been a really good team for mostly the entire year after they've gotten 2 outs. They've driven in big runs, and this was just a patient at bat. Castellanos knew in the back of his mind that he was not going to get a fastball in the 3-2 count from Nolasco, and he stayed back beautifully and lofted it into that little garden out there over the wall.
So here's Saltalamacchia. He will stand in. Boy, what a big at bat there for Castellanos. He'll face the new pitcher. That'll be Fernando Abad.
Abad is off to a terrific start here in 2016. 11 games, 10+ innings. The whip is under 1. He's punched out 12 and walked only 3.
Saltalamacchia looks at a strike, 0-1.
Abad has a fastball that gets up to about 90 miles an hour. Also cuts the fastball. He has a curveball and a changeup. Lots of changeups, lots of breaking balls thrown by Abad.
Drilled to center field. That's a base hit. Saltalamacchia gets a single, batting right-handed.
That's a good swing by Saltalamacchia. A lot shorter from the right side than from the left side. Take a look at this swing. Real short, real quick, compact.
It'll be the 9th hit now for the Tigers. Here is Anthony Gose. It bends in for a strike, 0-1 on Gose. So the Tigers now have scored 110 runs this year. They came in second only to the Boston Red Sox in runs scored this year in the American League. Fouled away, 0-2. And the Tigers also have an extra base hit now in 15 consecutive games. Martinez doubled, Gose to triple, Castellanos a homer in this one. And he got him, strike 3. Gose is caught looking, and that will end the inning. But a big 2-out rally for the Tigers. Castellanos hanging breaking ball. And he slams it for a 3-run shot. All tied up. Montgomery, Joe Mauer has had a big day for the Twins. 3 for 3, double, 2 runs scored. Pelfrey, 4+ innings, was hit around again today, but Castellanos right now has the biggest hit of the ball game, a 3-run shot to tie the game. And we go to the bottom of the 6th with Alex Wilson still out there for the Tigers. Danny Santana leading things off. Dozier and then Mauer to follow. Top 3 in the Twins lineup. The Twins sent 8 men to the plate in the 5th. And again, he shows bunt. 2-0. Santana single and a steal in this game. He is 1 for 3. High fly ball to right field. JD going back to the warning track right in front of the wall to make the catch. Back in the weight room?
For a while.
Here's Brian Dozier. Dozier a walk and a run score to the 5th. In fact, he got their rally started last inning with a leadoff base on balls. They ended up scoring 3 runs in that inning.
You would think, though, Mario, with Joe Mauer being on this team and the fact that Joe Mauer has that built-in classic inside-out swing where he drives balls the other way, that some of these other Twins hitters that are so pull-happy would follow his lead like so many have done for Miguel. Miguel has that same kind of swing, but from the right side with more power. And we've seen so many Tigers try to emulate that swing, but not many of these Twins do so.
That's flared to right field, and JD runs that one down. It's a great point. I mean, they have certainly been able to take their cues from Miguel Cabrera, and you know, JD is one of them. Castellanos another one. I mean, you would think a lot of that would rub off.
And Paul Molitor was saying as much today, the manager of the Minnesota Twins, he would like to see Dozier because he's a much better performer than he's performing right now. He'd like to see him try to hit more balls the opposite way, but when he does hit the ball to right field, he hits it just like he hit that last one. Just a lazy fly ball in that direction. They can't get this guy out right here.
Yeah, and here he is. Mauer has 2 singles and a double in this game, and he takes ball 1.
When guys are as hot as Mauer is, you just throw the ball down the middle and let them get themselves out. And they will 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the ball he hit in his last at bat very nearly went out. Off the top of the wall and left, he settled for an RBI double. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mauer's average up to 345 now as Wilson stays away.
Yeah, he's gotten well this weekend against Tigers pitching.
6 for 11 in this series. Three and 1. Division leading White Sox playing in Baltimore today again, and the White Sox leading that one 7-1. They're in the bottom of the 9th inning in Baltimore. Drilled toward left field. Upton coming over to the corner to make the catch. Finally get Mauer out. 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. is indeed 5-5. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for both teams in this game. We are dead even thanks to a Castellanos home run in the 5th inning to tie it up. Or the 6th, rather. Trevor May has come on now to pitch.
And we saw Trevor in last night's game. He was a starter in the first half of last year. Then he went to the bullpen, and in 12 games this year out of the bullpen, 2.57 ERA with 21 punch outs and 8 base on balls. Fastball gets up to 94 miles an hour. He also has a curveball about 77 miles an hour and a changeup. 3-pitch pitcher.
And he did not go. That is Iglesias leading it off. He'll be followed by Kinsler and then Martinez. One 1-0 pitch is in there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trevor May takes over for Fernando Abad. It's low. 2-1. Mark Lowe warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Iggy showed bunt there. He's got Sano pulling into third, but that was strike 2. 2-2 now.
And usually it would be Wilson to pitch the 7th inning, as Brad has done most of the year, and Lowe would pitch the 8th inning, but they've got a couple of big right-handed bats and leading off the bottom half of the 7th. Therefore, Lowe is up.
Iglesias punched out. One away, didn't like it.
It was high enough, and Fox Track says it got a little bit of the plate too.
Top of the order now, Ian Kinsler. He in a fly out, a pop up, and a line out. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
It's been a slow series for Ian. He is only 1 for 10 so far in the 3-game series here in Minnesota. But as hot as he was due for a little bit of a correction.
Yeah, I mean, he was white hot coming into this series. That'll get back out of play. 0-2. Kinsler has scored 21 runs this year, 2nd in the American League. He has scored over 105 times in his career. Here's the 0-2. Checked it low. Didn't go. JD Martinez will be next. And the 1-2. In the air towards center. Santana is on the move. And he'll go to the warning track. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th inning. Follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game audio highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablets. So with 2 outs now, here is JD Martinez. They have quieted down JD as well. He is 1 for 11 in the series, 0 for 3 today. One 1-0 pitch, missing high. 2 balls and no strikes. Cabrera would be next if JD gets it going here with 2 outs. That's how the Tigers got it started in the 6th. The 2-out single by Victor Martinez. 2-1. Big rip there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Here it is, hit it. A 94-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball by May. Right down the middle.
There's a base hit to right. JD goes the other way. Opposite of the shift.
JD took a big swing at the previous pitch, the 94-mile-per-hour heater that he threw right by him. So he shortened his swing up on that particular pitch and hit one right where they weren't. And he beat the shift. Tried to throw another fastball by him.
So the Tigers have another hit. That'll be 10 for the afternoon now for this Tigers offense. Here is Miguel Cabrera. Single and 3 at bats for Miggy.
Mario, I was down watching some batting practice yesterday. Antonio Oliva, who had a marvelous career, 15-year career playing for Minnesota Twins, was talking about Miguel Cabrera, and I was asking him, where does he rank as far as some of the great hitters that you've seen? In the names that he started spitting out were Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Frank Robinson. He said Miguel is so unique is that you watch him and the way that he's able to set up the opposing pitchers, which is what we talk about all the time.
Sure.
And then the fact that he stands 6'5", 260, and he's won 4 batting titles. He had nothing but praise for Miguel, but he puts him up in the top 5 of hitters that he's ever seen in his career.
And Miggy fouls it back out of play.
Tony Oliva won 3 batting titles. He hit 220 home runs. He had a marvelous career. He probably would have got some consideration for Hall of Fame had he not had to retire with the bad knees.
Yeah, his last year was 76, and he was a better than 300 career hitter as well. Great player. Number 6. Now May steps off, chasing the runner back. The 0-2. He went around, strike 3. Miggy goes down swinging, and a 2-out single is stranded. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
call of the game. One of the things that we've noticed this year is the fact that Castellanos, he's been spending a lot of time talking to Wally Joyner in between innings when they're not hitting. And I guess he's having a good year, and Wally continues to make sure he's well informed on all the pitchers that he's facing, and he can't get Castellanos away from him in that dugout.
Well, that's a good thing, especially with the results that Nick has seen this year. What a huge hit he had back in the 6th inning, a 3-run shot, and this series has been off the charts for him. 6 for 10, couple of homers, and 7 big ones in the RBI category. Tigers have fought their way back from a couple of deficits in this one, a 2-run deficit, a 3-run deficit. And they are trying to sweep the series before they head to Cleveland.
If the Tigers are able to sweep Minnesota here in the 3-game series, it'll be the first time they've swept them in a 3-game series since 2012.
Here is the upcoming matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet, and on Tuesday night it'll be Josh Tomlin who handled the Tigers the last time they saw him, and Justin Verlander.
I'm predicting that the Tigers will do better tomorrow against Tomlin, and the reason I say that is he pitches just like Ricky Nolasco. Lots of slow breaking balls, never gives into the strike zone. And the Tigers will be ready for him after they get a day off on Monday and see him on Tuesday.
Well, Mark Lowe has come on now to pitch for the Tigers.
He's on to get a couple of these right-handers out. That would be Sano and also Park, a couple of guys that have some power.
Strike called on Miguel Sano. Young Home Park, and then Oswaldo Arcia. Been a big day for Sano. He's been on base 3 times as he swings and misses.
That is the book on Sano. You try to get ahead of him with a fastball, and if he allows you to do so, and then you just start to expand the strike zone with good breaking balls. That last one was a good breaking ball. Now you have to make sure you expand it even more.
He laid off that pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Single, double, walk, and 2 runs scored for Sano. He's had a couple of doubles in this series. Hammer to right field, slicing away from JD, but he'll run it down.
You know, we were talking about Park and the fact that he played in Korea for the last 9 years, and he hit a lot of home runs. Of course, he was known for his legendary bat flips. Take a look at how far these bats are going after he hits his home runs, and I found it to be quite funny. Yesterday, he hit one, and he just dropped the bat. Had a little mini bat flip there. But the Minnesota Twins told him that we want you to stay healthy all year, so you cannot be flipping the bat the way you've been flipping the bat in Korea if you're going to live up to this 4-year contract. We don't do that over here.
How about those bat flips?
Legendary.
It was basically a finish of his swing.
He got away with it. When you hit 53, I guess you can flip them like that.
He had over 100 home runs the last 2 years in Korea, and he was flashy on every single one of them, apparently.
Of course, the bat flips were a hot topic this offseason.
Oh, weren't they, though?
With Jose Bautista and his bat flip in that huge series.
Epic.
In the postseason. I mean, that's a situation where that ballpark, they were going crazy.
You know, with a home run like that, I mean, I
don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it either, because of the emotion and the, you know, what it meant to that situation. It's the postseason. There's a bouncer towards second. Kinsler ranging left.
Well, Bryce Harper this year, the MVP in the National League last year, and probably the best player in the game right now as we speak, was talking about baseball. It just doesn't have enough fun. You got a lot of young guys, and you just can't show any emotion. He says, you look at the other sports. You've got basketball and guys like Steph Curry and all those guys having a lot of fun and joking. But in baseball, if you do something that's not the norm, then you get hit. Put it that way.
Right. You know, I'll make one point on that. If the bat flips are okay, and if Bryce Harper wants to have fun in the game, then don't get upset if a pitcher shoots an arrow after he strikes you out.
No, you can't get upset at that
So,
either.
I mean, it goes both ways.
It does go both ways. And that's one of the things that baseball's trying to do and has been trying to do for a number of years, and that's get more young kids involved, and that's one way of doing it, by having a little flair.
Ball is hit a mile high, but it settles into the glove of Ghost. 1-2-3 inning for Lowe. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. The top of the 8th now here at Target Field. The Tigers and Twins in the final game in this series, and the Twins have gone back to the bullpen. Ryan Presley.
And Tigers touched up this Minnesota bullpen a couple of days ago for 5 runs, but by and large, their bullpen has been really good at home. 14 1/3 so far pitched this year for Presley. He comes in with a 3.14 ERA, fastball, low 90s.
Victor Martinez, no easy task for Presley. That'll be the first man he faces, then Upton and then Castellanos.
It doesn't really matter who's on the mound these days for Victor. He is seeing the ball that well.
Victor is seeing it well again today. Couple of hits. He has a double, a single, 2 runs scored. It was his 2-out base hit that got the party started back in the 6th. Right at the knees, strike 1. Presley started the year by throwing 8 2/3 scoreless innings. He replaces Trevor May. One ball, 1 strike.
Did you see where Chris Sale is 6-0 now? He beat the Baltimore Orioles today.
Oh, he went today?
He went today. 6-0 this year. A lot of guys with no blemishes on their record this year. Of course, Jordan Zimmerman, 5-0. Former pitcher Rick Porcello is 5-0 for the Boston Red Sox. Do it, Victor.
Man, there's another base hit for Martinez.
Do it, Victor.
So the go-ahead run is on here in the 8th inning. That is the 3rd hit of the day for Victor Martinez.
It's really not that easy, but Victor is making it look awfully easy right now. That is a little breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone, and Victor just rips it right back through the box. It's a pretty swing here. .339 batting left-handed, .294 for Victor. He's a career 300 hitter from both sides of the plate.
Justin Upton, a single in the 6th inning, a single and a steal in the 2nd. Average continues to climb for Upton from the low 200s up to 235 now. Foul back.
You know, Brad is thinking about possibly pinch running for Victor, but here in the 8th inning in a 5-5 game, he's not going to do it. Or maybe he might do it if Victor gets to second base. I don't know.
Well, that's something he's always going to have to deal with, taking out one of your best hitters late in the game if he does get into scoring position.
And then on top of it, Victor's been so hot.
Right. A little easier if he wasn't this hot, but tough call. You get him in a scoring position late in a tie game.
Still got to
call.
win the game. Yeah. He's thinking about it.
I know Romine's dying to get into the game and pinch run. He always does that. That's fouled back out of play. Red would say late in ball games last year, if Victor got into scoring position, Romine already had his helmet on, standing next to him.
That's why Brad is so fond of Romine.
But he has always or also used Romine as a defensive replacement for Castellanos late in games. 1-2. Justin Upton. Back out of play. 11 hits for the Tigers here this afternoon, 9 for the Twins. Right side of the infield opened up for Upton. Pulled on the ground and threw a base hit. First two Tigers have reached a 3-hit game for Upton. That is the 12th Tigers hit. Well, there's your answer.
Yep. He had to do it. He had to do it.
It is such a difficult call to make, but you get a base hit here, and it's the difference between scoring a run and stopping a runner at third.
Victor's not necessarily all that fond of the move, but he understands it. He's a good team player.
Go ahead run at second is Romine with more speed now. Upton at first, and here's Castellanos. Ball one to Nick. Castellanos with runners in scoring position this year, 381.
How about Justin with another 3-hit game?
Average continues to climb. One ball, one strike. One and two. Presley got him to chase a ball in the dirt, and now he's ahead of the count. Here's the 1-2. Line drive caught, flipped to second, double play. Man, oh man, Castellanos hits another bullet, and it results in a double play. And that is baseball. Two gone.
It's line drive directly at Escobar, and because the second baseman Dozier was playing so close to the bag because they were over shifting on Castellanos, he was able to get there before Romine was able to get back to the bag.
2 outs, and here's Saltalamacchia. Single in his last at bat. Swing and a miss. Strikeout, flyout, single for Saltalamacchia. Wilson and the Tigers bullpen right now, the lefty Justin Wilson. Here's the 0-1. Hammered toward left field. Rosario's on the move. He looks up. It's against the wall. Upton coming to third. They're going to send him home. Here's the relay. It's dropped. And the Tigers will go ahead.
Boy, is it a good thing he dropped it, because I think Justin would have been out.
Saltalamacchia with an RBI double, and the Tigers have taken the lead 6-5.
It's one of the things that we've talked about the Tigers this year. With 2 outs, they do not give away at bats. Castellanos hit into a double play, and there's Saltalamacchia to pick up the entire team, driving one the opposite way. Real nice concentration there by Saltalamacchia. Rosario got it. He got it back in to the cutoff man, but it was dropped by Escobar.
It would have been tough for Upton to score.
Well, I don't think Upton thought that Dave was going to send him home, because he started slowing down as he got to third base, and that's a no-no. You have to make sure when you're getting to third base, you keep running hard. You make that third base coach stop you.
But it works out, and the Tigers have taken the lead 6-5. It's their first lead of the afternoon. Ghosts will try and get another one in. 0-2.
So now what do you do at third base if you're Brad? You bring in Aviles to play third base, and you let Nick play third base. Because Romine came in for the DH, right?
Right, he sure did. He would have to burn a couple of bench players for that. Swing and a miss. Ghosts is out, and the side is retired. However, not before. Saltalamacchia drives in the go-ahead run. Six-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and your question has been answered. Ron Mike Aviles coming out to play third.
Yep, you knew Brad was going to do something with a 1-run lead. He usually takes Nick out in those types of situations.
Justin Wilson has come on now for the Tigers.
First reliever with 11+ consecutive scoreless outings to begin Tigers' career since Francisco Cordero did it back in 1999.
He'll try and get 3 outs here in the 8th. He's got the bottom 3 to go up against.
Didn't Prince have a song 1999 or something?
Sure did.
How about that?
Synergy.
We still pulling Prince in here, man, over the weekend, all weekend long.
Forgot about that one. That was a good song too. I'm still going with Purple Rain though.
Purple Rain?
Yep, that's my favorite.
He had so many.
Here is Eduardo Escobar. He'll be followed by Suzuki and Rosario. Justin Wilson breaks it home, and it's a strike.
I like the decision by Brad to bring in Lowe in the 7th to go up against those tough right-handed hitters. That would be Sano and Park, and now he goes to Wilson here in the 8th.
Lowe got him 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. Ball outside. So the Tigers now the rest of this game will be without 2 of their bigger bats, Castellanos and Martinez, one lifted for a pinch runner and the other as a defensive replacement, or for a defensive replacement. But those are tough decisions managers have to make, and he's got the lead. It's fouled back out of play. 1 and 2. Escobar is 0 for 3. Couple of grounders and a strikeout. Here's the 1-2. Lifted toward right center field. And it's going to drop right in front of J.D. Martinez. Leadoff single. Here are the numbers on Wilson. 12th appearance of the year. That whip. .90. Now we'll see it. Suzuki is doing up there. The tying run is at first base. And that is the 10th hit for Minnesota.
Suzuki had 6 sacrifice bunts last year, none so far this year. But the way that he's swinging the bat might not be a bad call for Minnesota to try to get a runner in the scoring position. But then the guy Rosario is struggling too in the on deck circle, but he probably will get pinch hit for.
Avila's is about even with the bag at third. So he is not overplaying for the bunt.
Nope. And Wilson has thrown over now on 2 times in a row, trying to see whether Suzuki will tip, whether he's going to bunt or not.
He's showing bunts. Ball 1. Twins right now playing to get that tying run in scoring position.
Gene Glenn, third base. If you're Suzuki, you want to bunt down in this direction. You have Miguel Cabrera over here. He has a responsibility of holding the runner on, so he cannot vacate his position too early. But on the other side, Avilas can.
And it is bunted first base side. Wilson will tag the runner.
Surprised the Tigers were not really anticipating a bunt there, or at least they were kind of relaxing the defense, knowing that they could still do whatever they needed to do. It's a nice job here by Wilson. He picks this ball up with his glove, and then he just applies the tag to Suzuki as he runs by.
So Rosario is going to hit for himself. They have Polanco, who's a switch hitter on the bench. They have Eduardo Nunez, a righty, and John Ryan Murphy, their backup catcher, a righty, but he has struggled tremendously this year. So Rosario hits, trying to drive in the tying run. Ball 1. Wilson has been as advertised. We saw him last year with the New York Yankees, been with the Pirates, and every time we've seen him, we've come away impressed, and he's done nothing to deter that this year for the Tigers. He's got to strand this runner now, though. Swing and a miss.
Well, one of the reasons why Paul Molitor is leaving Rosario in is the fact that he's done nice work in his career against left-handed pitching. The batting average is better than it is against right-handers. Most of his power numbers, of course, come against righties, where he sees them a lot more.
2-1. Tigers went ahead on the 2-out RBI double by Saltalamacchia, who just continues to deliver big hits for the Tigers. Escobar represents the tying run. We're in the 8th. 6-5. Tigers had the lead. Here's the 2-1. Danny Santana waiting on deck. Kevin Jepson warming up in the Twins bullpen. Outside, and Rosario laid off. 3-2. Tigers bullpen has allowed just 2 runs since coming on, or 2 hits, I should say, since coming on in the 5th inning. That's it. Slap back out of play.
Good fastball at 95 there, thrown by Wilson. He's got a really nice, easy delivery, and the ball just explodes out of his hand. It's been a while since the Tigers have had a reliever with a fastball as firm as the one that Wilson has been featuring all year.
Bouncing ball toward third. Aviles has it. His throw is in time. The runner will hold at second base. 2 gone. Now Santana. Santana single and a steal, but did not score back in the 2nd. The Tigers go on and win this game, they will go to 14-10.
It's only the 2nd plate appearance that Santana has had batting right-handed. He spent some time on the disabled list, but since coming off, most of his reps have come against right-handed pitching.
1-1 on Santana.
I don't know. He threw that right fastball right by Santana. You might want to just elevate a little bit more on the next one and see if he'll swing at that one too, but he couldn't catch up with that first mid-90s heater.
Mid-90s again. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers out of the bullpen today with Kyle Ryan, Alex Wilson, Mark Lowe, and Justin Wilson. Pelfrey was knocked out of the game in the 5th inning. And he threw another one by him. Again at 95, 1-2. Two and 2 now on Santana. Dozier waiting on deck. Any way you slice it, the Tigers are going to have to at least go through Joe Mauer one more time. Just got a piece of it. Santana stays alive. Twins have let a couple of leads get away against the Tigers today. They jumped out 2-0. Then 5-2, and on both occasions the Tigers come back. Nick Castellanos, a huge 3-run shot in the 6th. That made it 5-5. Tigers went ahead in the top of the 8th. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Santana is out of there, and so are the Twins. Justin Wilson reaching back. He gets his first strikeout of the game. We go to the ninth. We go to the top of the ninth inning here. Tigers do have a one-run lead. 6-5 is our score. And Minnesota will go back to the bullpen as we go to the ninth. It'll be Kevin Jepsen.
Jepsen's got a big arm. His fastball clocked in the mid-90s. He also has a pretty good curveball, and he throws that curveball about 22% of the time. Also a changeup, but he really doesn't feature the changeup that often, just 2% of the time. So fastball, curveball, more than likely coming out of the hand of Jepsen. How do you say that kid that pitched for Philadelphia today? Velasquez?
Velasquez, yeah.
Man, he is dealing this year.
He is.
They got him in that deal from the
Astros, right?
Yeah, the Astros deal. That Giles.
Oh, that's right.
Ken Giles, the closer.
Yeah.
They gave up some good pitching in that deal for that kid Giles, but Philadelphia surprising a lot of people this year.
Yep, they won again, so they are shocking, folks. Here's Iglesias to get things started here in the ninth. Iglesias, Kinsler, Martinez. No balls, 2 strikes on Jose. Pitcher in the sunlight, batter in the shadows. At this point in the afternoon. Here's the 0-2. Jepsen last year saved 10 games, made 29 appearances with Minnesota. It's been part of the year with Tampa as well. And broke in with the Angels. Here's the 1-2. Little pop up, short right field. It'll drop, base hit. So Iglesias has his second hit.
It is not all bad to get jammed every now and then, especially with 2 strikes. Sometimes you get rewarded with a bloop single.
Now Ian Kinsler as the Tigers try and find some insurance, some breathing room here in the ninth. Don't see this very often, but Kinsler is 0 for 4.
Got a lot of room on the right side with Iglesias being held on by Mauer.
Twins today have gone with Abad, May, Presley, and now Jepsen. Ball 1 to Kinsler.
Jepson about 125 to home plate, which is good. But if Iglesias can get a pretty good jump off of Jepson, and we gave you some numbers on Suzuki, their catcher, a couple of days ago, he has not been throwing the ball well down to second base.
Swing and a miss. What would you say is the threshold for, all right, this guy's too quick to the plate, we can't run here?
1-1, 1-2. You want to stay away from it. He's 1-2-5. That last one, he was 1-1. But if you have a catcher, though, that doesn't throw well, then that kind of takes it the other way. So you might be able to run on him if he's 1-2-5 because Suzuki doesn't have a great throwing arm.
There he goes. And it bounces in all the way to the screen, and Iglesias goes in standing up with a steal.
And apparently the Tigers felt like they could exploit that weakness of Suzuki, even though Jepson was getting the ball to home plate in a timely manner. Suzuki just had no opportunity, no shot here. And that's a breaking ball that's down, and Iglesias picked the right pitch to run on. Now Ian Kinsler really needs to fight to make sure that he can at least get Iglesias to third base or drive him in. But you got to get him to third.
Line drive caught, flipped to second, and it's dropped.
These shifts that Minnesota plays where they overshade the Tigers hitters, the opposing guy, the last time it was Dozier that was close to the bag and they were able to double up Romine. This time it was Escobar that was close to second base, so he was able to get to the bag and they nearly doubled off Iglesias.
Another bullet hit by a Tigers hitter. Castellanos lined into a double play back in the 8th. Here's J.D. Martinez. Strike 1 on J.D. 14 more Tigers hits in this contest.
He had 17 hits, what, a couple days ago?
18.
18.
Game 1 in the series. Tigers trying to sweep. High fly ball right field. Arcia right to the warning track. Runner tagging. Here comes Iglesias to third, and he's in there. 2 gone. Fans, join us again on Tuesday when the Tigers begin a 3-game series against the Indians. Our pregame coverage begins with Tigers Live at 5 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tigers Indians this Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Fox Sports Detroit.
Looks like they're going to pitch to Miguel with 2 outs and a base open, and Victor Martinez out of the game and Romine in the on-deck circle. Or at least they're going to appear like they're pitching to Miguel to see if he'll chase another breaking ball or 2. He's had a tough time of laying back on breaking balls today.
Ground ball back up the middle. Dozier down to a knee to stop it. And Miggy almost got it through, but no dice. No runs, 1 hit. They got a guy to third base, and that's it. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Tigers by 1.
And Jared Saltalamacchia, the last half inning, came up with 2 outs and got a fastball from May on the outside part of the plate. Short hopped the wall. Upton was on first base. He slowed down once he got to third base, but he was still able to score. Saltalamacchia, man, has he gotten some big hits for the Tigers first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, a lot of them have been homers, but not this one. A double to give the Tigers the lead. We'll see if it holds up.
Saltalamacchia has 4 go-ahead RBIs already this year.
Pretty
4
good.
of them.
There's K-Rod.
He was good yesterday. He'll need to be good again today. His last 3 times out there, he's done nice work. He has 6 saves. He's blown 1. The ERA is over 5, but it's inching its way down with each outing he has. Really good career numbers against Minnesota in his career, 1.43 ERA.
Well, Frankie's going to have to earn it today because he's going through 2, 3, and 4. Dozier, Mauer, Sano in a 1-run game.
And the first thing that you have to accomplish here is the one guy that has the power to lead off the inning would be Dozier. So you cannot give him anything inside that he can turn on. If he gets a base hit, you want to make him hit the ball to right field.
A little bit of history between these two. Dozier 2 for 4 against Francisco Rodriguez.
He changed his walk-up music too. Did you hear that?
Yeah, he did.
And Fetty Wap wasn't working for him.
Welcome to the jungle. Fetty had a short ride, didn't he?
He did.
Didn't last real long. 0-1 on Dozier. Francisco Rodriguez, 9 saves shy of 400 for his career. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Slow breaking ball at 76 miles an hour.
Dozier in the game today, a walk and a run scored, otherwise 0 for 3. Joe Mauer waiting on deck. Tigers went ahead with a run in the 8th. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was a dangerous pitch. He nearly hit him.
Here's the 2-2. Frankie saved the ball game last night. Actually, yesterday.
Here comes that change piece. Get it down. He laid off it.
3-2. Fish run butt.
He throws so many changeups that it appears to me that the opposing hitters or the hitters in the batter's box, they just disregard the fastball because they know when they're in the box that they're going to get an assortment of off-speed pitches against Frankie. But he has a really good breaking ball, and he's able to get outs with it.
Pulled on the ground to short. 1 gone. Two outs to go. Mauer just 1 for 7 career against K-Rod. And he's had another big day. 3 hits. A couple of runs scored and an RBI. Mauer takes ball 1, missing away. 6 for 12 in the series for Joe Mauer. If the Twins fail to come back in this game, their record will drop to 7-18.
They started the year 0-9.
Strike called on Mauer.
And no team that has started 0-9 has ever gotten to the postseason, and let alone no team started 0-9 has gotten back to 500 on the season.
Well, they got a long road.
They do.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Mauer. Francisco Rodriguez burst onto the scene with the Angels. Had a big postseason in 2002. That'll bounce in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's also a close game for the Mets. Milwaukee. Tigers got him from the Brewers last year. Bouncing ball right side. Cabrera has it. K-Rod covers for the out. 2 gone.
He threw Mauer that changeup, and this is one of the ways that you can get Mauer out. You get him to roll over something. That's an off-speed pitch to the right side of the infield. That's not his strength, hitting balls in that direction.
So their final chance now is Miguel Sano.
And Tigers outfield playing fairly deep. They don't want anything hit over their heads. No doubles for Sano.
Sano has a double in this game, plus a single. He has scored a couple of runs. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball, right field, hit well, going to the corner. J.D. Martinez still going. That ball is going to be fair up against the wall. Sano rounding the bag and going for 3. There's a play, and he's out.
He's out to end the game.
Sano is out at third, trying to stretch a double into a triple.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the Tigers will take that. Thank you very much. And that is the ball game as the Tigers complete the sweep.
Now, what is Paul Molitor asking? Was it a ground rule double? He's talking to the umpires.
Tigers already in their handshake line.
Yeah, they are.
This wasn't even close. Velas did a good job of getting down, blocking the bag.
That's why you have to pick up your third base coach if you're Sano. Even though you think you might be able to get to third base, you have to pick up your coach. And I'm sure Gene Glenn, the third base coach, was telling him to stay at second base.
Well, the umpires are saying, wait a minute here. This one is not over yet. The Twins are still looking at some video. This would be the first 3-game sweep in target since 2012 if it holds up. Perfect relay to third base. Avila supplies the tag, and the Tigers sweep the Minnesota Twins.